How you doing? I'm Darren with Ash Kickin' Barbecue, and today we're talking smoked turkey. Now, if you've never smoked a turkey before, I highly advise giving it a try for Thanksgiving this year. This recipe is going to make it easy for you to follow along and produce a wonderful bird that your family and friends are going to absolutely enjoy. We're going to be cooking on the pellet grill today. We're going to be running at 350 degrees, and we're using Cookinpellets Apple Mash pellets because I love how much smoke you get even at a higher temperature. And apple really goes great with poultry. It doesn't overpower the bird because poultry is easy to over smoke. Now, to prep this bird, I just went ahead and brined it last night. I use a brine kit that I found online. If you have a brine recipe that you like, go ahead and use that. Just brined it overnight, got it out, rinsed it, patted it dry, and this is where we're at. So let's bring you in and show you how we're gonna prep this turkey. All right, guys, now the first thing we're gonna do to prep this bird is we're just gonna do a little housekeeping. You can see we have some loose skin right here, and what a lot of people do is go ahead and tuck these legs underneath. I'm not a big fan of that. I like to use butcher twine for that, just because sometimes the skin can crisp up and break during the cook. So I just like to go ahead and get that off and remove that. And I'm also gonna come in and remove that little bit of cartilage and go ahead and take that off. And you can see right here, we have some excess skin right there. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that back a little bit. I don't wanna trim it too much because it can shrink up. So we'll go ahead and take that off. And at that point, that bird is looking pretty dang good to me. So what we're gonna do is just go ahead and just make sure we have it completely patted dry, which is gonna be really important to help us get that crispy skin. Then what we're gonna do is take some of our Tony C's injection here, and this is Creole style butter. It's really delicious, and it's just going to ensure that we have a really nice juicy bird here. Even though we did brine it, this is just going to add a little bit extra flavor and make sure that everything stays nice and moist on this bird. So I'm just going to pour it into a cup because I don't think I'm going to use the whole thing. Now, it does give you a nice injector here. If you have one of your own, go ahead and use that. It has quite a few holes on here, but we're just going to go ahead and draw in our injection. And we're gonna focus on the breast here. And the important thing is when you get in, as you're injecting, you wanna pull out so you're not just getting an injection glob. You'll start to see that breast puff up, but then you pull out as you're injecting. That way it's not all in one big glob. You got a nice even injection, and you're not gonna just have one glob when you go to bite into that breast. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this breast injected, and you can use as little or as much as you want in here. It just depends on your personal taste. I've done this a few times, so I know what kind of works for me. All right, so you can see I went ahead and got this breast injected. It did puff up a little bit, so the injection is staying in there. That's what you want right there. Now what you can do here is you can come in and hit the legs if you want and just get a little bit extra flavor in there. So we'll hit each of the legs. Then of course, if you want to hit the thighs, you can go ahead and pump a little in the thighs as well. And again, this is just how much or how little you want in there, and you don't even have to do this, but it does have a really great flavor, and it does yield a really juicy product. So I would highly recommend doing it, especially if you're a big fan of the Tony C's like I am. So just gonna go ahead and maybe hit these wings a little bit too, get some in there. And one thing I wanted to mention, that if you don't have time to brine it, you can just absolutely go ahead and use this injection. So at this point, once we have everything injected, we're just gonna go ahead and dry it off with a paper towel and get that excess injection off the skin. Now at this point, before we get the bird seasoned, there's a couple things I wanna do. I wanna make sure I tie up these legs so they kind of stay where they're at during the cooking process. So I like to just come in with some butcher's twine and just get yourself a knot tied up. And then we're just gonna bring this other leg up and cross it and just wrap it around nice and tight. Then we'll go ahead and get this tied off. All right, so you can see we have these legs tied off. That's looking good right there. Go ahead and clip off the excess, and that should stay during the cooking process. Now also, I like to go ahead and take these wings, and I just like to fold them back like this, just to kind of keep them tight into the bird. And it also kind of stabilizes it when you go to cut it. So we'll just go ahead and pop this back like so. And now we have the wings pinned back. You don't even have to pin them or toothpick them. You can just go ahead and tie them just like that. And now we're gonna go ahead and get the bird seasoned up. Now for our seasoning today, we're gonna be using Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub. It is my favorite rub on anything, but it is absolutely magical on turkey. So we're going to start off with the back side here and just get a nice coating of rub on the turkey. And this is going to give this bird a really nice color, a really nice savory flavor, and I can promise it's going to be a hit. So we're just going to go ahead, we're just going to get that seasoned up like so. And then at this point, we'll just spin the bird over. Now we're just going to come in with our paper towel again, make sure that everything is nice and dried off. Like I said, we're going for that crispy skin. Cooking at 350 is going to help, but dry skin is going to help a ton. So we got nice dry skin. We're going to come in, we're going to just hit our turkey with our party rub. Make sure you get a nice even coverage on it. All right, guys, you can see we have our bird completely seasoned here. It's looking good. We're going to get a really beautiful color skin on this. I can promise you that. This rub does a great job. Now, to monitor our cook today, we're going to be using the Meter Plus, and this thing is really awesome. You just go ahead and shove it in the breast, and you can monitor everything from your phone. So all we're going to do is just go ahead and get this in the thickest part of the breast, about like that. And that's all we have to do to monitor our cook. This little thing is gonna feed back to our phone and give us our reading. So I'll meet you guys outside at the Traeger. All right, guys, so we are out here at the Traeger Pro 780. We got our turkey on, we're running at 350 degrees. You can see we have some awesome color on that bird. We're just gonna shut this down. We'll come back and check it in about an hour. So we'll see you then. All right, guys, so it has been 1 hour. You can see we got some great color already on the turkey. Now all we're gonna do here is just take some of this duck fat, just regular old duck fat. We're just gonna spray down the bird, get that side. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and rotate this just so we get some even cooking and we're not getting too dark in one area. So we're just gonna come in, spray this bird down with some duck fat. It's going to help brown the skin, it's going to help crisp the skin, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. So we will come back out and check in another hour, but you can see we have some fantastic color right here, and it's coming along great. So see you guys in 1 hour. All right, guys, we are 2 hours into the cook. You can see our turkey's looking awesome, nice and golden brown, has wonderful color. We're sitting at about 130 degrees according to the meter, so we still have some time. I'm gonna go ahead, and I ran out of duck fat, so I'm just using some canola oil here. Just gonna give her a quick spray. We're gonna flip it around just for even cooking. Give it a little spray. And nothing's looking too dark here. We got some really nice color, so I'm just going to continue to let it roll. And we'll check back in about an hour, and we'll see you guys then. All right, guys, it has been 3 hours and 14 minutes on the nose. The meter just read that it's done. We're going to go ahead and check it with our probe here. And we are sitting at about 159, 160. So that is absolutely perfect. We're gonna get this off. We're just gonna cover it loosely in foil, just drape it over the top of it and let it rest for 30 minutes. It's gonna carry over to that 165. It's gonna be nice and juicy, and you can tell this is a beautiful looking turkey. So I'm gonna get this inside, let it rest for a half hour, and I'll bring you back when it's time to do the taste test. So we'll see you guys in 30 minutes. All right, it has been 30 minutes. We went ahead and let this turkey rest. Let's go ahead and get this thing uncovered. And look at that beautiful bird. That looks phenomenal. I can tell you it smells wonderful. Those Cookinpellets Apple Mash pellets really did their job. This smells absolutely delicious. We got nice crispy skin. I don't know if you can hear it, but this bird looks absolutely great. So let's bring you in, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna carve this up, and then I'll show you how I would present this at Thanksgiving. All right, so the first thing I like to do is just come in here and get your butcher twine off, and we're just gonna go ahead and cut through it and get that removed. All right, so now that we have our butcher twine off, we're just gonna kind of come in here on the leg. We have our leg and our thigh right there. We're gonna repeat the process on the other side. Now what a lot of people like to do with the breast is they'll just come in and they'll just slice and get nice slices like that, and that works. However, what I like to do is just find this bone, and I like to just come in on the side of it and just kind of follow it down. So we're just gonna fillet this breast off the bone. And if you leave a little meat behind, that's okay. Just try and get the majority of it. Take your time. This isn't a big rush. And there you have a nice turkey breast right there. We're gonna set that off to the side for now. And you can see there's a little bit of meat here, that's fine. You can come back and get that later or save it on there, make some nice stock. Now all we're gonna do is repeat the process on the other side. And it's much easier once you get one side off because you can see where the bone is. And there we have the other breast. And you can see the skin kind of pulled away. That's fine. Just leave it on because when you go to slice this, you want to have every little slice have a piece of skin if you can. So we'll get this set off to the side. And then we obviously have our wings, which just pop right off. All right, so this is kind of how I do it. I get my legs up here, my breasts, and then I got some pulled thigh meat right here that is just nice and juicy. And if somebody wants some dark meat, they can kind of grab that. But usually everyone's going for some of this breast meat right here. And it obviously looks way better on a platter. And then underneath the thighs, I got these wing tips, or these wings. And these are actually one of my favorites because they're nice and crispy. They got good seasoning. They got good moisture. So however you want to present it, it's completely up to you. This is just kind of a quick way of how I do it. So let's bring you out and we're going to do a taste test. All right, guys, so here we go. Like I said, I'm not the best turkey carver in the world. I just try to make it somewhat presentable for my family. You can see we have nice moisture in that breast, and we get that from brining, we get it from injecting. That thing is so juicy. So first things first, I'm starting off with a piece of that. Get a piece of this skin here. All right, guys, this turkey cook was absolutely phenomenal. Great flavor from the seasonings, the brine, everything that we did was absolutely fantastic. The Cookinpellets Apple Mash blend really brought some great smoke flavor to this. It wasn't overpowering. It was the perfect amount of smoke that I'm looking for on poultry. So I highly recommend going ahead and using that blend for your turkey smoke. You're not going to regret it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.